October 2022, Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Hi, this is Janet, and I'm Sly. Back in 2016, we both decided it was time to stop working, buy an RV, and start traveling the country and the world. And once the RV was pretty much the way we wanted it, we started our travels, and we've been doing it ever since. So join us as we explore this country and the world, and maybe we can even meet up with some of you along the way.
We finally finished cleaning everything up after the hurricane, and that means it's time to go out and celebrate with our friends. All of us made it through the hurricane just fine. None of us had any real damage. The area is still a little messed up, but it's not really all that bad, and the water is finally starting to go back down again. Our first stop is to listen to some music at the Social Distance Club. The music was great, and this band was way better than the last one we heard here. I'll tell you, after the last few days inside that hurricane with the flood and all the cleaning up afterwards, man, it was good to be out again and just relaxing with our friends. We even had a chance to play the old Flip the Coaster game. The idea is to see who can flip the most coasters at once, and I haven't played this game for a long time, and it doesn't always go well. But if you keep on trying, eventually you figure it out and get to flip bigger and bigger stacks of coasters. While playing, we listen to The Doors. I gotta say, this was a great night out, and the music was absolutely fantastic. It didn't take long to get back into the swing of things, and eventually we headed up to Playalinda Beach for a rocket launch, and there we were surprised by all the damage. But the rocket launch went on. This was the launch of SpaceX Crew Dragon 5. The ship is carrying a crew of 4 up to the International Space Station. There were a lot of people up at Playalinda Beach waiting to see this thing take off, and they were there from all over the world. We must have heard at least 4 or 5 different languages, and everybody was there just to enjoy a rocket launch. What's really cool is how long it takes for the sound to reach you after you actually see the rocket. Well, we had a good time watching the rocket launch, and then we just spent a little bit more time up at Playalinda Beach roaming around the area. We found out that out of 13 different places where you can get to the beach, only 5 of them were open. The rest were too heavily damaged by the hurricane, and it would be a while before they finally opened up again. We of course stopped to have our lunch with a view before heading on down to Indian Harbor for a midday drink. Okay, we didn't just go down to Indian Harbor for a drink. We went down to Indian Harbor because we hadn't had a chance to explore that area yet, and this seemed to be a good day to do it. The drink, well, that came after exploring Indian Harbor because, of course, we were thirsty. It's been nearly 5 days since the hurricane passed, but I will tell you the beaches and the water, it's still ugly. The waves are ugly and the color is ugly, but the sunsets are absolutely beautiful. That's the other thing. We're still going down to the Tiki Bar, but this time the Tiki Bar actually had the heaters on. It got cold down here. Now mind you, cold down here is like 72 degrees. So we watch the sunsets with the heaters on. That's okay. Well, it's another day and yet another rocket launch. Let me tell you, rocket launches down here, one every few days. SpaceX is sending them up along with everybody else. You want to see a SpaceX launch? Hang around for 3 days. You'll see one. A few days later, we made our way to Cocoa Village with friends. Mike and Susan are new to this area, so we thought we'd show them around. But the weather didn't exactly cooperate. The rain came down and we were forced to seek shelter in a bar with some bourbons. We waited out the rain by drinking our bourbons and listening to the band play some music. We had a good time drinking our bourbon and listening to the band play. But eventually the rain cleared and we had a chance to explore Cocoa Village. A few days after exploring Cocoa Village, we finally had a chance to meet up with Dan. We haven't seen Dan for years, and it was great sitting down, having lunch with him, and catching up with what's been going on. It was great seeing Dan again, and hopefully it won't be years before we see him again. A few days later, Mike and Susan invited us over to their place for a little food and some cocktails. The steaks were great, and so were the cocktails. Thanks, Mike and Susan. Remember a couple of weeks ago when Mike, a different Mike, took us out on his boat? Well, it seems that Mike is a big fisher guy, and he caught a lot of fish. So, to help him eat all those fish, Mike and Mary invited us, along with several others, over to their place for a fish fry. And man, did we ever have a party. There was quite a few folks here, and we all had fun. We had some cocktails, we had some hors d'oeuvres, and of course we had fresh fish caught by Mike. This dinner went well into the night, and it was almost midnight before we finally got out of there and made our way home. Wow, what a great time. Thanks again, Mike and Mary. Our time here at Cocoa Beach is almost over, but we couldn't leave without having one more bowling adventure with friends. In addition to the bowling, our farewell tour also included heading on up to our favorite rooftop bar down in Melbourne. This is one of the few places where we can dress up a little bit and enjoy a cocktail outside while watching the sun set. This was the beginning of our farewell, and it was just Janet and I at the rooftop bar having one last night out by ourselves. But the next night, we got together with friends for another going away party. Mike and Ronnie threw this party for us at their place, and we had a great time. Thanks a lot, Mike and Ronnie. We appreciated the chance to say goodbye to you two and all the rest of the friends we met on this trip to Cocoa Beach. We have been here at Cocoa Beach for going on 5 months now. It is the longest we've spent in any one place for a very long time. But man, did we have fun. Over the past 5 months while we've been here, we bought a house. We survived a hurricane. We saw tons of rocket launches, and we made so many great new friends. And now that we're finally leaving Cocoa Beach, well, we leave with mixed feelings. We're happy to be traveling again and looking forward to our next stop. On the other hand, we made a lot of really good friends here, and we're going to miss them a lot. Over these last 2 weeks, we still got a chance to go out and visit a few places. And as usual, if you look down in the description below, you'll find a link to all those places so that you can find them a lot easier than we did. And that is where I'm going to end this video. Both Janet and I hope that you enjoyed following us on this adventure, and we also hope that you join us as we explore our next stop.